an economist, I find it fascinating that there's been a resurgence in labor union activity recently. For most of the 20th century, a much larger proportion of working-age people belonged to unions. In 1950, it was about 30%. But in recent decades, that's declined, mostly because of globalization. Large multinational companies could shift operations to other countries that had drastically lower wages. Meanwhile, real wages in the U.S. stagnated. This gave leverage to employers. Their anti-union sentiment brought changes in the federal government's National Labor Relations Board. This made it easier for union leaders to be fired. Couple this with a surge in U.S. workers during the baby boom years, and workers lost a lot of bargaining power, not only for wages but also for benefits like health care and paid time off. The decline in manufacturing and rise in the service sector also made it harder for workers to unionize, as the service sector is more diffuse and has higher turnover. I find people have strong opinions about labor unions, but the reality is that we are now in a different reality. The baby boomers are retiring in droves, and lower fertility rates in the past 20 to 30 years means fewer working-age people today. Also, countries that had cheaper labor previously, like China, now have more developed economies with higher wages. Likewise, there is political pressure to depend less on other countries, hence reshoring. The pandemic exacerbated these structural shifts, with in-person jobs such as hospitality, healthcare, and education becoming less and less desirable. Put all this together, and the new normal is that workers have more bargaining power. Almost 250,000 people joined labor unions in 2022, and strikes were up 52%. Mind you, still less than 10% of workers are unionized, but the reality of fewer workers will likely manifest in a shift in the balance of power, either through unions or not. American airline pilots brokered a 46% increase in wages over the span of their contracts. UPS unionized workers will get $7.50 more an hour over time, in addition to air conditioning. Now, the United Auto Workers are asking for a roughly 40% increase in compensation packages. And here's the monkey wrench. Some of these worker asks are related to disruptive technological changes like AI and alternative energy. Hollywood writers don't want entertainment companies to use AI. Auto workers want job security because of electric vehicles. Unionized workers in particular want a larger slice of the pie as it relates to corporate executive pay, but they also want to secure their place in a new world with likely fewer workers and more technology. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out.